this video, it is now part 4 on the BMW. So part 4. Part 4 on the BMW E34. Almost forgot about it. So part 4 on the BMW E34. So hopefully I can get this done. There's not much on there anyway, just, the special models, Alpina models, model year changes, and production, and that's basically pretty much it. So where I left off from last video was the special models, which there's not much on there anyway for special models, only 3 of them. So, before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted when I'm making uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So, special models. Here we go. So, starting off with the 518G. There's only 3 types for this one, and then a bit more for Alpina models, but let's do this. Wish me luck. So, special models. So first is the 518G. 518. So 518G. A model which could run on natural gas, as well as gasoline or petrol, and was only sold in Germany. So only sold in Germany. The 518G. The 518G was based on the 518i Touring, a Touring model, and the only gearbox available was a 5-speed manual. So 5-speed manual, which is pretty good. The engine also used by the 1995 to 2000. The engine also used by the 1995-2000 3 Series compact. So 3 Series compact, which was the 3 Series compact based on the E36. So E36 platform. So 3 Series compact, the 316. So 316G model. So 316G model was a retuned version of the BMW M43. M43. So retuned version of the BMW M43 SOHC single overhead cam 4-cylinder engine. So it's a straight 4 or inline 4. When running on natural gas, the engine produced 98 horsepower compared with 113 horsepower. So when running on natural gas, the engine produced the engine produced 98 horsepower compared with 113 horsepower when running on petrol or gasoline. So that's a difference in 15 horsepower depending on the type of fuel different horsepower ratings would also be down to the type of fuel system it would have. Say when running on natural gas, the engine produced 98 horsepower. So 98 horsepower roundups like 100 horsepower compared with 113 horsepower. When running on petrol, it was only produced in 1995 and just 298. Roundup is like 300 units. So 300 units were built. Now we got the 518i EV prototype. That's right, so it was an electric prototype. Let's do it. After unveiling the BMW E1 and E2, so E1 and E2 concept cars. So E1 and E2 concept car, electric vehicles, so electric cars in 1992. So in 1992, BMW began a project to show it was possible to make a full-sized electric car, despite the obstacle of the weight of the lead. So despite the obstacle of the weight of the lead-acid battery technology at the time, the batteries were lead-acid type. So lead-acid type. And the electric motors used a rotating field AC electric drive. To assist the electric drivetrain, the 518i EV also had a 4-cylinder petrol engine and a continuously variable transmission, CVT gearbox, a configuration similar to the first production hybrid cars produced by other manufacturers several years later. So a configuration similar to the first production hybrid cars produced by other manufacturers several years later. BMW built at least one fully functional E34 prototype, which was tested in the late 1990s by Deutsche Post and others. Deutsche, I think I said it right. It's a German word, but it's spelled DEUTSCHE, Post and others. Next up is pretty much my favorite one. This is the last one, and then got the Alpina versions. Then model year changes in production. So next one is my personal favorite, is the 540i. So 540i. So 540i M Sport slash M540i slash 540i. So next up was my most favorite one, the 540i M Sport slash M540i slash 540i LE. Because the M5 was discontinued for non-European markets in 1993, the 540i M Sport said the 540i M Sport 540i M Sport model was built in 1995 for the North American market. On top of the regular 540i features, additional features included sports suspension equipped with EDC, So sport suspension equipped with EDC. So on the 540i M Sport, M540i, 540i LE. So because the M5 was discontinued for non-European markets in 1993, the 540i M Sports model was built in 1995 for the North American market. On top of the regular 540i features, additional features included sport suspension equipped with EDC, which stands for electronic damper control, bolstered sport seats, servotronic steering, and US spec M5 brakes. So that's cool. 205 M Sport models were built. 139 of them with the 6-speed, so 6-speed manual gearbox. Pretty cool. So the rest of them were like 5-speed manuals, or either that or they could have been automatics. I'm not too sure, but 205 M Sport models were built. 139 of them. So 139, almost 140 of them were. Almost 140 of them with a 6-speed manual gearbox. That's great. An M540i model was produced for in Canada, which someday I might head to Canada. Say Canada. It includes the features of the North American 540i M Sport, plus upgraded Eurospec M5 brakes. So Eurospec M5 brakes, 18-inch M parallel wheels and various trim pieces. Only 32 of these cars were built, all with a manual gearbox. Thank God. Phew. Because no more of this crappy automatic gearboxes. Automatics are terrible. Manuals are just better because they're lighter. So only 32 of these cars were built all with a manual gearbox. The 540i LE, which is limited edition. So limited edition sedan was sold in both Australia and the UK. Say Australia and the UK. Australia and the UK. The 540i LE included the interior. So included the interior from the M5. Throwing Star M System 2 wheels, EDC, electronic damper control, suspension with self-leveling rear, servotronic power steering, and front air dam. 70 of these 540i LE sedans were produced, all with a manual gearbox, each individually numbered. So each individually numbered using an engraved metal plaque. So plaque stuck onto the center console beneath the e-brake or handbrake lever. So a handbrake lever. Next up is Alpina models. Say Alpina models, starting off with the first one. The B10 3.0 All-Rad. Say All-Rad. This model is engine producing a whopping 231 horsepower. It's pretty good. It's not bad for a car like that. Pretty good. Instead of 192. So that was like a 40 horsepower increase. That's great. So this model is based on the 525iX. So 525iX with an enlarged 3-liter straight six engine producing 231 horsepower instead of 190, instead of the usual 192 horsepower between 1993 and 1996. 64 sedans, so 64 sedans, 64 sedans, and 70 touring cars. 70 touring cars were produced by the Alpina factory. I can't pronounce this word. Say between 1993 and 1996, 64 sedan cars and 70 touring cars. So 64 sedans and 70 touring cars. A total of both of these combined is 134 cars were produced by the Alpina factory. Alpina factory in
Butchlow.
Alpina factory in Butchlow, which so between 1993 and 1996, 64 sedan cars and 70 touring cars. So 64 sedans and 70 touring cars. Total of 134 cars were produced by the Alpina factory. So by the Alpina factory in the town of
Butchlow.
So were produced by the Alpina factory in the German town of Butchlow. So in the town of Butchlow in Germany. So Butchlow, Germany, with a very small number of right-hand drive cars, 2 sedans, 2 saloons, and 1 station wagon or 1 touring, converted by can't pronounce this word. Converted by
Sidner.
Converted by Sittner, which is spelt SYTNER, the Alpina dealer in Nottingham, England. So Nottingham, England. Next up is so now we got most of the B10 models. So next up is the 3.5-liter version. This model is based on the 535i with a modified version of the 3.5-liter straight six engine, producing a monstrous 254 horsepower. Pretty good. As a rocket ship, 254 horsepower is pretty good. Instead of 220 horsepower, So it's increasing an extra 34 more horsepower than before. So it's an increase in an extra 34 more horsepower than before. Between 1988 and 1992, 4-year difference. Let's say a 4-year difference. 570, so 572 left-hand drive cars were made in Butchlow, with perhaps 30 or so right-hand drive converted by Sitzner. The B10 3.5 was only supplied as a sedan. All saloon car and no touring cars were made. Next up is the B10 4.0 or 4-liter. This model is based on the 540i with a modified 4-liter engine. Suppose it was still straight 6 or it was a V8, I don't know. So 4-liter engine producing 315 horsepower instead of the usual respectable 286 horsepower. So 286 horsepower, the same power as an E36 M3. And I think the M3 E36, so E36 M3 lightweight, I think, would make the same power or a bit more, I don't know. That 286 horsepower. Between 1993 and 1995, 45 sedans and 45 sedans and 4 touring cars, so 49, almost 50 cars in total were produced. So almost like 50 cars are produced by Butchlow, all left-hand drive cars, with a further two right-hand drive sedan cars converted by Sitzner. Next up is the 4.6-liter version. So 4.6-liter version. This model is based on the 540i. This model is based on the 540i with an Alpina designed 4.6-liter engine, which was used also in the E36 Alpina B8 in the E36 Alpina B8. So B, not V, but B. So the second letter in the alphabet, B, and then 8. So B8 4.6. Between 1994 and 1996. So between 1994 and 1996, 27 sedans and 19 touring cars were produced by Butchlow. So in total, that was around 46 in total. So almost 47 cars were produced by Butchlow. All of them were left-hand drive. Except one right-hand drive touring car with a 7 horsepower increase. So 7 horsepower more. than the B8. So with 7 horsepower more than the B8 4.6 due to the larger exhaust manifold. With 7 horsepower more than the B8 4.6 due to a larger exhaust manifold. So due to a larger exhaust manifold, it produces the same 340 horsepower as the E34 3.8 M5 Touring. So Touring, but with nearly 20% more torque. It was also available in right-hand drive, unlike the M5 Touring. Next up is the last one, which is the B10 bi-turbo. Say B10 bi-turbo. So I believe that's like twin turbos or single turbo, or is it twin scroll turbo? But whatever it might be, at least it's turbocharged, so that's cool. Alright, last one is the B10 bi-turbo. So this one is the bi-turbo version. Here we go. The B10 bi-turbo. So the B10 bi-turbo. The B10 bi-turbo was based on a highly modified. So the B10 bi-turbo was based on a highly modified 530. Was based on a highly modified 535i and it. So 535i and introduced in March 1989 after a $3.2 million investment in R&D. So 3.2 million. Hold on. I'm back. Alright guys, I'm back. So I just had to deal with something. That's all that was. Alright. Plug this bad boy in. Just so my battery don't die. Like last time. Alright, last one is the B10 bi-turbo. Let's do this one. The B10. So the B10 bi-turbo was based on a highly modified 535i and introduced in March 1988 after a $3.2 million investment. Say $3.2 million investment in R&D, despite being nearly twice the price of a BMW. Despite being nearly twice the price of a BMW M5, it sold well, and production ceased. So like ended in 1995 for this version. So production ceased in 1995 after 507 sedans / saloon models were made, and only after BMW ceased producing the M30. So ceased producing the M30 engine, upon which the engine was based. It was not available in right-hand drive due to the so it was not available in right-hand drive. It was not available in right-hand drive due to either the turbochargers replacement. So either the turbochargers placement or as a touring model. So either one of these two was like the answer. Say either the turbochargers placement or as a touring model. It produced 360 horsepower and 375 pound-feet of torque, which in Newton meters that would be equivalent to despite being nearly twice the price of a BMW M5, is sold well in production, ceased in 1995 after 507 sedan models were made, and only after BMW ceased to produce in the M30 engine upon which the engine was based. It was not available in right-hand drive due to the turbo. It was not available in right-hand drive due to either the turbocharger's placement or as a touring model. It produced 360 horsepower and 508 newton meters, 375 pound-feet of torque. So 375 pound-feet of torque. So that's on full boost. So full boost. Just 20 horsepower and 21. Just 20 horsepower. 20 horsepower and 28 newton meters. 21 pound-feet more than the B10 4.6, along with the Lotus Carlton. The Lotus Carlton. I struggling to say it. It was considered one of the fastest sedan cars. So it was considered one of the fastest sedan cars in the world. Next up we got is model year changes, and then production, and then that'll probably be it. This is gonna take a lot longer, but it's worth it. So now we're in the second to last part, which is the model year changes. So we're in Highland Springs. So Highland Spring I'm drinking. So still spring water, naturally from Scotland's Ochiel Hills. And very soon I might be going to Scotland one day, so that's going to be quite interesting. Considering I've never been to Scotland, but we'll see how it goes. Just don't know when I'm gonna go to Scotland, but I'll find out. Alright, so now we're on model year changes. Here we go. BMW the BMW E34. So BMW E34. So E34 had no facelift. Okay, so I had no facelift as such. They had no facelift as such. All updates were introduced gradually, and sometimes were country specific. So we're country specific. Most changes occur in September each year. When the changes for the following model year go into production, as is typical BMW practice. Therefore, the changes for 1988 represent the 1989 model year, for example. Speaking of 1988, so speaking of the late 80s, we're now on 1989 and up until 1995. So I'll be up to like a whole 7 years of these cars. So I'm gonna do all of these cars of what I had for like equipment throughout its 7-year lifespan before the E34 ended production in mid 1990s, so 1995. So starting off with is 1988. Here we go. So they introduced it as an M5 model, then a 524 TD, a diesel model, then a 518i 4-cylinder model, and the driver's side airbag. Was even introduced. Next up is 1989. The 520i engine updated to the BMW, to the BMW M50 straight 6. So it would be 2 liters, 2.4 and up to 2.5 liters. So the BMW naturally aspirated M50 straight 6. That's cool. The first model to use the new twin cam. So the new twin cam straight 6 engine. Next up is 1990. 525i engine. So the 525i engine updated to the BMW M50 in some markets. 1991, so 1991 in others. 525iX all-wheel drive model introduced, and then 525 TDS diesel model introduced. Now we got 1991. Is that 1991? 525i engine. 525i engine updated to the BMW. So to the BMW M50 in the US market. So this is 1991. So we got touring, station wagon, estate models, blah blah blah. Introduced both the 525. So first is the 520i-T. So 520i-T and 525 and 525i-T. So T I believe stands for turbo, I think. Leather seat stitching pattern changed from double to single. Steering columns and wheels changed from E30 compatible 22 millimeter nut. So 22 millimeter nut to E36 compatible. So E36 compatible with a 16 millimeter bolt. So 16 millimeter bolt. So there's a difference in those 6 millimeters. And it has a new interior with wooden decor. Alright, anyways, next one is the 1992 version. Interesting, it's a 1992 version. So both 520i and 525i engines were updated to the BMW M50 TU, which added variable valve timing, VVT, which I talked about over a year ago. So it was Vanos engine. V8 engines introduced in the 530, so in both the 530 and 540i. So 530i and 540i models. The V8 models adopted a wider grille than other models. The M5 engine was enlarged. So the M5 engine was enlarged, so bore down from 3.6 to 3.8 liters. So that's cool. Even had revised exterior mirrors and hubcaps. So revised exterior mirrors and hubcaps. even had revised interior electrics. So revised interior electrics primarily with central locking. General modules were black on early cars, green on later, and not interchangeable. The 525i manual gearbox was changed from a ZF310Z to a Getrag 250G gearbox. That's for the US market only. Next up is 1993. So the 525 TD 525 TD model. It's a 525 TD diesel model. So a diesel model was introduced last year for 535i. So last year for 535i, the 6-cylinder or a straight 6 model, marking the end of the 24-year, marking the end of the 24-year, marking the end of the 24-year production run of the M30 engine. So marking the end of the 24-year production run of the M30 engine. A 6-speed manual was available for the 540i model, the first 6-speed available in a 5 Series for non-US markets. ASC became available. So ASC, automatic stability control. So automatic stability control became available. Next up is 1994. The 518i engine was upgraded from a BMW M40 to a from the BMW M40 to a BMW M43 single overhead cam SOHC inline 4 petrol engine. M5 gearbox was upgraded from a 5-speed manual to a 6-speed manual. So that's great. Wider grille, previously used for V8 models only, became available for other models. So became available for other models for the non-US markets. US market touring models no longer were equipped with self-leveling suspension. So no longer equipped with self-leveling suspension as well. Self-level suspension as standard. EWS1 drive-away. So EWS1 drive-away protection. So EWS1 drive-away protection used in some models. Next up, and last but certainly not the very least, is 1995. All models equipped with both wider grille, so with wider grilles and body color, lower body trims. That's for the US market. Interior materials revised. So yep, interior materials revised. Kind of a rhythm I got going on. Anyways, steering wheel. So steering wheel slightly designed. So steering wheel slightly different design with color emblem. Door cards with ruched / gathered leather and with different glue, more durable between the panel. So between the panel and its vinyl / leather or vinyl leather both less durable between both panel and mounting clips. EWS driver-weight protection. So EWS driver-weight protection updated to EWS 2. Say EWS 2. 540i available with a 6-speed manual for the US market. So for the US market, all with both sports seats and suspension. So I have sport seats and sport suspension. Can't say all at once. So sport seats and sport suspension. I mean, I can, but it just feels like I'm just not seeing it right if I speak so fast. Anyways, both the 540i automatic and manual versions equipped with a 2.93 final drive. Previously it was a 2.81 final drive, so there's a difference in those. 0.12 final drive. So for the US market at least. And last but certainly not the very least is production. So this is the final part, and that will be it. I do not want to be on this forever because it takes so long just to do it. So last one is production, and then now I'll call it night. So production. Here we go. Production. So production of the E34 commenced on November 2nd. So production of the E34 commenced on November 2nd, 1987. Said November 2nd, 1987. Said 1987. For the 535i with a 535i market launch being in January 1988. So January 1988. Say January 1988. And other variants following a staggered launch. Both 520i and 530i. So both 520 and 530i production began in early January 1988. So it was early of the late 80s. So January 1988 for March 1988. So for March 1988. For March 1988 market launch. So it's a 2 months difference there. During the year 1988. So during 1988. Production of the 520. So production of the 525i began in February 1988, being launched to market in 1988. Being launched to market in April. Being launched to market in April 1988. So it's a 2 months difference there from February to April 1988. With the 524. So with the 524 TD. So with the 524 TD entering production. So entering production in March 1988 for May 1980 for the May 1988 intro or introduction. So again, 2 months difference. So from March 1988 for May. So in March 1988 for May 1988 introduction. So introduction. Touring production began in November 1990. So start of the very early 90s. Production ended for the sedan in December 1995. So it was like the late mid. So like the end of the mid. Kind of the late mid. Like 90s. So December 1995. And I wasn't even born. It didn't exist at that moment until 10 years after 1995. was between 1995 and 2005. So production of the 525i began in February 1988, being launched to market in April 1988. Say 1988. Say 1988. With a 524 TD entered production in March 1988. In March 1988. For May 1988, intro touring began. So touring production began in November. 1990. Production ended for the sedan in December 1995, and touring in June 1996. So there's a difference in like half a year for like 6 months. So production ended for the sedan in December 9th. So both the sedan in December, sedan in December 1995, and touring in June 1996. So 1996. Our last part, and then that'll be the end of the E34. The production plans. So the production plans for the E34. So for the E34 were at the Dingolfing plant in Germany, and Rosslyn, which is an industrial suburb of A.K.A, 29 kilometers northwest of Pretoria. So, Rosslyn in South Africa. So in South Africa, total production was over 1.3 million units. Or if you want to scientifically is 1,300,000. So 1,333,000. So 1,333,412 units. So 1,333,400. So 1,333,412 units. We finally, and that is it for the E34 5 Series. We finally done. So for my next video, I got a lot planned for my next video, but I just don't know what I want to do, but I'll think of something. So that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below. So like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted when I make new uploads. Sorry if I had to keep repeating it, messing up just because I'm so tired, I just couldn't say the words right. But hopefully for my next video, I'll try to improve a lot better. So yeah, that'll be it. So again, don't know what I'll do for my next video, but I'll find out. I'll think of something. So if you guys like this video, like it, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you are alerted of when I make new uploads. Right? So that'll be it. I will see you guys soon in the next video. But until then, stay safe. Have a great evening. So have a great evening and have a great day tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Take care, folks. I'll see you guys soon. Good night.